Good morning. It's beautiful to see you, and I'm so pleased that I get to be inside today because it's cold and it's wet. Overnight, I am officially, I've got matchsticks in my eyes. It was extremely windy, and I slept through most of it, and then I woke up and I didn't get to sleep after that for an hour, and so I spent the time meditating, which was really cool because all this crazy good stuff happened, but that keeps you awake because you've got all this energy in your brain and your body now. So anyway, I'm an hour and some short, and yeah. So hello, I'm awake, I'm here, and then the wind sort of stopped, and there was this torrent. And when I come out the house, look out the window this morning, the wind is coming streaming across from the other direction. So we had a northerly gale, and now it's southerlies, and southerlies are cold, and that's what's going on. Good morning, Linda. Let me get to the point. Look, today's rocks. Get to the point, Maddie. Hi, Amy. So I'm a little bit today. This is one of the first rocks I ever bought. Yeah, I did used to buy rocks. Now occasionally they get given to me, but I don't buy them anymore. I have an abundance, and I enjoy what I have. And I have a friend who has, massive amounts of them because she wholesales and retails them. And so I borrow some of hers. But this is one of mine. And clearly, bad pun, it's quartz, right? And it's polished and it's pretty perfect with all its imperfections. And, this was in the days when I was after perfect things. Now I like the ones that are funny and ugly, fugly rocks, because they're really not fugly at all. They're just gorgeous. So, enjoying that. I think today's things are things that sparkle because, I've got the lights on because it's just way too grey to not have the lights on. You wouldn't be able to see anything. Now this was given to me by somebody. It's made in Mexico, and it looks like just black, right? But see this sort of glimmer here? It's actually sort of slightly golden obsidian. It's gorgeous. And it's a cat. And he's very self-contained and still and present. Shuffy, good morning. It doesn't look like a rock, but it's made of obsidian and carved in Mexico, and it's beautiful. And I'll see if I can show you the glimmer. Heather, good morning. You see that? So it's actually just this beautiful shimmer of gold on the obsidian, and it's beautiful volcanic glass. It's been carved, and it's got it's a rather small bottom, so it very easily falls over. It stands, but if you knock it, it falls over quite fast. But it's this beautiful, self-contained presence, really. So, those are our rocks for the day. And good morning, everybody. Facebook doesn't tell me who you all are, but it's lovely to see you. Now, today, I want to pick up on a question that Jim asked yesterday. Yesterday, we were talking about your dreams and your desires and how you can have a fixed idea for very good and sensible and justifiable reasons about how your dreams and desires can happen. And that idea will get you there, unless, you get a curveball and something breaks. But it can take a very long time if it doesn't go the way you plan or, hi, Nora, yeah, Tweety. Oh, nice, little collections. And yeah, it does look like a statue, Shuffy, you're right. It's only this big, though, so, small statue. We can get absolutely hung up on how we think our dreams should come about. And I told you about my own experience of that. And it doesn't work, okay? It's a lot better to let go of our expectations, which can be surprisingly unconscious. You're not aware that you think, oh, well, I want to be that, so it's going to be this and this and this. And, here's a set of tick boxes, and I have to put a check in each one of them, and I'll work my way down the list, and it'll happen. Tracy, good morning. And what I've discovered is, for me at least, life doesn't work like that. So, in the context of that, Jim asked a really good question. Well, how basically do I connect with my passion and find out what I like? And, because like me, a little while ago, he's got no idea. He knows he wants to do something great. A lot of us do. We want to do something that satisfies us, that feels meaningful, that's, purposeful. What the heck am I here for? All of that. But we don't know what it is. And I know some of you have been asking that question for a long time. Oh, Shafi, Actually, that's simple, if not easy, to become conscious of your unconscious state. Okay, I'm going to go sideways because this is a great question. And it kind of relates. Your unconscious state is imprinted on your life as the way your life is. And you will notice, if you pay attention, when you look at the things in your life that are the way they are, that you don't like, that there are thoughts that you think about them that you don't even notice. You know, that person or that situation, like me, looking back for at least 20 years on the fact that I was a musician and it felt like a waste of time. It was useless. I would have been better as a scientist or a doctor. I would have made more money. All of this stuff was going on saying, I chose the wrong path. I can't get the time back. Blah, 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 blah. There's a whole lot of stuff that I didn't even think about. That was just why I felt resentful about the fact that I chose a career in music, because I didn't know what else to do, right? So you will have thoughts and feelings running, and you know that you know what's going on when you react to something and you feel bad and you just think, well, because of that, I feel bad. No, because of that, you have thoughts and you accept and believe and surrender to them as true, and you feel bad about them and you keep thinking and feeling them, and that's how it works, right? So you got to pay attention. Kyle, it's lovely to see you. So really, to become conscious of your unconscious states, you've got to start noticing what you're thinking and what you are feeling. And it's kind of like you got to look outside your box and catch yourself, you know. Think, hang on a minute, I want to be this person, but I'm acting like that person. Whoa, how am I doing that? Pearl, good morning. So the thing is, if you don't know what your purpose in life is, and plenty of people do, you know, some people, they come in like, you know, I was just reminded of Peter Jackson, who's, most people know, directs films, you know, did the Lord of the Rings and the Hobbit trilogy, but he did a bunch of movies before that, you know, Kiwis knew about them and nobody else did. He knew he wanted to make movies from the time he was little. Running around with a video camera, doing things at school. That was just what Peter Jackson wanted to do. And here he is doing. He's made a lifetime of it. Passion of it. Through thick and thin, by the way. There's no way was it easy. Me, like I said yesterday, I've only just really started to understand what I'm here for. So there's this wide diversity in how people actually come to what am I here for. And it can change as well. It can totally change. There's not one purpose, one reason. It's like there is not one person that's the right person for you. And if you may have a relationship with them, it's over. You'll never find anyone else. That is complete bullshit. I'll say it and get it out of the way. We're not having a conversation about relationships. But this idea that there's only one of anything and that you've missed that great opportunity is just rubbish in a universe of infinite possibilities. That's just wrong, as far as I'm concerned, right? So if you tell me that, my truthometer is going to go, eh. If you want to believe it, that's fine. Just don't expect me to believe it, okay? You're allowed to believe it. Just don't expect me to believe it. So, finding your purpose when you've got no idea, okay? That's the situation I want to talk about. When you have no idea, you still know things that you have enjoyed doing or experiencing or something, or that you've always wanted to do, just always, and you can't get it, you know, I mean, I'm talking about years and decades and whatever. Zah! That's wonderful! Doing your dream job for 23 years, fantastic! Robin, good morning! You know, some people know and they just get on with it, some of us don't. So, if you don't know what your dream job is, and I sure didn't, first of all, you need to do something, because it's handy to earn money and be able to pay your way, or at least partially pay, you know. I mean, that's just sensible. Do something. And what I used to say, and would still say to someone in that situation who really doesn't know, is, well, find something that you can do that doesn't take the stuffing out of you. So for a long time, I did office administration work, and I got really good at administration. And you know, good administrators are not well paid, but they're always in demand. And, you know, it was money and it kept me going, but it left me with brain space and time. You know, I just went to work, I did the job, I went away. And I discovered down the track, that as soon as you got into a certain salary bracket, it wasn't very much, that the expectation changed from you come to work, you do your job, you walk away, to you come to work, you do your job until it's done, and then you walk away, if you're lucky. Misty, Timothy, good morning, gorgeous beings. And so I made a really conscious choice that I didn't want to do that. I was not going to climb the corporate ladder because it was going to take too much energy, because I knew I wanted to create something else. I don't know what. I just knew that I did not want to do that. So I had to exercise my no. And look, I did that for a long time, and it had economic implications. It's, and fortunately, blessedly, gratefully, I'm in a situation where I've been able to do that. It's given me choices. But inside my head was the idea, oh no, you shouldn't exercise your choice because that's not what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to work full time and, or you're supposed to plunge off the deep end and, bust your ass and become some kind of entrepreneur and, really stress for at least 2 or 3 years or however long it takes. None of that appealed to me. So and it didn't appeal to me because I was afraid, really. But, whatever, the fear served me well. It said, Maddie, you're not going to survive this and it's not going to work. I didn't understand that, but that was what my fear was saying to me, and it was right, because it wouldn't have, not with the mindset I was living at the time. So, I stayed there, and I kept wondering and poking and looking, and, and I tried some things, and I made some mistakes. And, I mean, it's easy to say, oh, well, you spent years. I mean, I'm not talking a small amount of time. I am talking a relatively small amount of money, but it was money that I couldn't afford to lose, and I lost it, And I look back on all of that and thought, oh, what the heck? I now understand exactly what the value of that was, but at the time it was just really painful and really difficult. And I look back on it now and I understand all of it. I mean, it allows me to talk about it to you with some degree of truth because I've been there. But I also can see that all of those skills and experiences that I got from that journey are actually essential to who I'm being now, which was kind of a surprise, Jen, g'day, honey. So I was doing administration work, and hook and by crook, I ended up doing website work, and then I got contracted by a really gorgeous man who runs a wonderful website company, build and develop and support websites, and I'm a content expert with them now. Contractor, still part-time, and it still wasn't enough, but it was right, and I knew it was right. It gave me time to think and to create, so I'm still using my alternative option to make ends meet. And 3 years ago, I was still really pissed off that I was doing that, but I was grateful still that, I had this choice and I wasn't enslaved in a corporate situation because I knew that would be bad for me. So all the while, not really knowing my purpose, right? Just more or less financially surviving and poking and prodding and being curious and, So it's been this long meandering path for me. And I didn't understand what I do now. If I had, of course, it would have gone faster, but that's not the point. I now know what it's like to not understand how it works, and now I know what it is like to understand. And I continued gradually to gently navigate myself towards things that I more and more liked to do. And that's really, finally she gets to it, that's really the point I want to make, that in your heart, in your awareness, in your gut, in your beingness, whatever it is you know it, there are things you like to do, and there are things you don't like to do. Jim, good morning. I'm answering your question, Ali. And it can be very diffuse, and it can be very unclear, and we have to take small risks, but not huge ones, notice. The money that I lost, it wasn't going to make me bankrupt. It was just, oh, shit. There's a difference, I was never one to leap off a cliff because I knew that I would just land on the rocks. I didn't have that kind of mind at that time to do it, and I still don't want to. It's just not how I want to live. See, this was all about how I wanted to live, and in those days, all I knew was that I did not want to work full time. I just knew that. Really, truly knew it, because back in 2009 I got this website and called it insights.com, and that's a whole long story. If you want to know what the story is, go to my website and read it. It's called epiphany.space now. It's changed. And and I started blogging. I was doing email marketing and thinking that might be the thing. And eventually I realised that I hated email marketing. But along the way I got some skills, and it got me into my failed Tally Summit launch, which made me realise something else about my audience and the nature of the relationships that I need to build, which takes time. And, so I got more and more information every time I tried something. And I was always walking this narrow line, pushing the edges of what I could do without completely shredding myself through stress or, overreaching. And I think that's really the way to do it. It's not tidy, it's not fast, at least it wasn't for me. I think for most people, actually, there is capacity for it to be faster now because of the information and the tools that are available that weren't, even 10 years ago, even 5 years ago, they weren't available. But the core of it is what you know that you do want and desire in life, and you keep taking little steps towards that, and you keep saying no to the things that you don't want. And the more you say yes to who you want to be, the more you keep moving towards it, even if you don't know what it is. Now, the piece that I understand now, which I did not understand then, the piece that would have sped it up immensely, is this. Sitting here right now, not knowing who you want to be and how you want to have purpose in life and all of that, you are looking at the problem from inside the neurological and biochemical architecture of who you've been up until now. And the only thing you know for sure is that who you've been up until now is not who you want to be in the future. This is not relating to the people who are absolutely doing their dream job, but you will have dreams the other dreams that you want to create, and the neural nets in your head and the experiences you've had and who you've been up until now do not relate to who you want to become in your future. And that is outside of your box. It's totally outside of your box. So that's why you can't imagine it. You can't put it together and say, oh, well, I'm going there and 1, 2, 3, 4 steps and off I'll go. It's not like that. You've not been there. It's unknown, right? So how do you get outside of your box? Well, it's kind of the same way. I mean, there's more to it, but the simplest part, the core part of it is, it's kind of the same way as me saying, I don't know, 10, 15 years ago, I don't want to work full time. And it wasn't like I just searched for a part-time job, by the way. It just happened. It fell into my lap. And I was like, oh, the universe is supporting me. And I mean, it wasn't just, from full-time to part-time. It was like from full-time to lesser hours, and then another part-time thing came in and the hours added up and they grafted together, and then this one went away and this one got bigger, and then I got something else, and it just worked. It just happened. It flowed because I had this intention. So you're going to have a very sort of nebulous intention if you just continue to hold it and you add around that intention. See, there's a clear intention. That's a thinking process. You know what you want, even just a little bit. This is the bit that kicks it faster, is to know how it feels when you're there. If I had understood that I needed to envision and imagine and feel it and taste it and smell it and listen to it, how it is when I am doing work that I'm really happy doing, well, what is that like? What is it like to have colleagues that you genuinely enjoy? And that, you don't feel like you're being a pain in the ass when you ask them a question, and they ask you a question because you're respected and appreciated for what you know, and you work together as a team, and there's no political bullshit because everybody who's in this particular workspace is just not interested in that. And this wonderful, gorgeous guy, I mean, I'll probably never be able to say, Ian, I love you to bits, but, he's this beautiful, beautiful leader, and he's also a very savvy businessman. And I found myself giving business advice a little while ago. Where the hell is this good information coming from? And I realised, oh my God, I've learned it by osmosis, watching this amazing leader lead a team with heart and, thrive in a challenging business place. Environment, economy, blah, blah, blah. I've learned so much. This is what it's like. And if I'd known what that was 10 years ago, I would have been able to be more intentional, not just about, I want work I enjoy, but this is how it feels. And this is who's there and this is who's not there. the really painful, difficult political situation in the corporate environment that I left to come into this space, and the difficult colleagues who just basically, they said, oh, no, I don't hate you. Yeah, he hated me because he was threatened by me and I was threatened by him. So, Kazinga, we had the same energy of being scared of each other. And you know how that goes when one of you's a bully and the other one's scared. So, finding your purpose, it's not, well, for some people it is about having a great bolt that says, I'm going to do this, Saul of Tarsus on the road. He knew, kaboom. But for a lot of us, it's this gradual process. And there's a lot you don't want, and there's some things you do want, and there's a big gap out there about what shape it's going to take, and you've got to stop looking for that because it's outside your box. But you do know, if you start to create how you want it to feel, who you want to be there, who you don't want to be there, what you want to be doing, what you don't want to be doing, and get clear about that. And, but I don't know what I want to be doing. I don't know that's not what I mean. I haven't been clear enough to myself even. It's like, I don't want to be running around tight circles. I want to be chasing deadlines. I do want to be sitting in an office, or I want to be working anywhere in the world, or I want to be doing short-term contracts or permanent work, or working with a small team or with a large team. You can set up the environment without actually knowing what the work is. That's just, you have to pay attention to everything except the thing. And we get stuck on the thing and don't realise there's a whole lot of stuff we can be intentional about without knowing what the thing is. The thing, in a way, is almost incidental. It's not. But the space in which you want to be and the way you want to be living, when you're doing what you want to do, is a good 80% of it. It's really important. So that's what I wanted to say. It is Friday. And this is exciting. This is a little graduation for me. This is Friday. Next Monday, I'm going to go live from Maddie Schaefer Manifestation Coaching. Because, I've got to make space for expansion. Anybody who's seen me for a while knows that things are going faster. Just in terms of the community, how it's growing, it's getting busier. It has to move to the page. I have no intention of only having a community of 5,000. So it's got to get big. Oh, isn't that going to be interesting? Do you think that I have to be imagining how it is when it's big? And I have to start imagining a team of my own. And I have to start imagining how that's going to be. And it's like, oh, God. That's just a massive, unknown. I don't know what it's like. But yeah, so, little graduation. All the work's been done the last 2 or 3 months, but, you got to flick the switch, so here we go. So that's it. I am signing off from, actually, we're going to have resonant replays for tomorrow and the next day, which will also be, living on this page. Next week, I'll be live from my own page. I hope I can figure out how to do that. It shouldn't be hard. Rabita! Hello, honey! And I'll see you there. Big love. Big love. Thank you for joining with me. See you then.